If the younger version of yourself walked into the room right now, would they recognize who you've become? Would they feel safe with you? Would they feel seen? Would they feel protected or even loved by you? Would they say, that's the person I needed? Or would they still be searching? That question isn't meant to bring shame to you. It's meant to wake you up. Because the truth is, most of us are walking around with parts of ourselves that were never fully cared for, never fully heard, never fully guided. We wear titles, we play roles, and we perform responsibilities, but inside, we are still trying to figure out who we were meant to become. And somewhere along the way, we started thinking it was too late to fix that healing was for other people, that maybe growth just wasn't in the cards for us. But that is a lie that we need to expose, and we need to expose that lie today. You have the power right now to become the man or woman that you always needed, not for applause, not because of pressure, but because healing is your birthright. Wholeness is your invitation, and becoming is your responsibility, not just for you, but for the family that you're raising, for the community you lead, the people you influence, and the ones who are watching you become. You get to be the one who breaks the cycle, the one who stops the silence, the one who ends generational shame, the one who turns old pain into new patterns. This episode is about that transformation. It's about how we stop passing on what broke us and start building what heals us. So let's get honest. Let's go deep. Let's do the work, because there is work to be done here. You are not behind. You're not broken. You're right on time, and your becoming starts now. We need to talk about who you needed versus who you are becoming. Here's a truth I've seen play out over and over again as a growth coach, but not only as a growth coach, but also as a man of God. Most people never had the kind of leadership or emotional presence they desperately needed growing up. Most people were handed silence when they needed safety. They were handed criticism when they needed connection, or they were handed rules when they needed relationship. So now we lead from a place of lack. We parent from a place of pain. We operate from wounds that were never fully addressed. And that gap, the space between who we needed and who we are now, can feel really crushing. Like, how am I supposed to become someone I've never even seen modeled? That is a valid question. And that question can be paralyzing if you let it. But if you reframe it, it becomes really powerful. Because once you realize what was once missing, you now have language, you now have a mission, you now have a clear target. And if you're willing to be intentional about it, that gap doesn't have to stay a gap forever. It becomes a bridge. Your life becomes the bridge between pain and purpose, between trauma and transformation, and between history and legacy. That is sacred work. That is leadership, and that is spiritual maturity. Breaking the cycle starts with you. Let's be really clear. You don't break a cycle through shame or striving. You break it through clarity, compassion, and courage. Courage to speak when you were taught to stay silent, compassion to give what you never got, and clarity to define what kind of man or woman you're becoming on purpose. You stop the cycle when you no longer let pain write the story. You stop it when you decide that your kids will grow up with emotional tools instead of emotional wounds. You stop it when you choose therapy over denial, communication over control, and purpose over passivity. You don't need to wait until you've arrived. You can lead from the process. You can lead while you're still learning. Because the most powerful leaders I've met, they're not the ones that have it all figured out. In fact, if you have a leader that says they have it all figured out, run away. They're the ones who show up with honesty, humility, and healing on their shoulders. You can be that. You can choose to carry wisdom instead of weight. And here's what becoming actually looks like. I'll tell you what becoming doesn't look like. It doesn't look like perfection. It doesn't look like hustle. It doesn't look like finally arriving and being above the struggle. Becoming looks like saying, I don't know, without shame. Showing up when it's inconvenient. And speaking up when you used to stay quiet. It looks like loving people without needing to be needed. Setting boundaries even when they disappoint other people. It looks like holding space for your spouse instead of reacting. Affirming your children before they even have to perform. And being honest about your story so that others know that they're not by themselves. The enemy is really good at making us believe that we are the only ones going through something. Becoming is everyday work. It's when you make the 1% shift in how you respond. It's when you recognize that your healing isn't selfish, it's strategic. You're shaping generations simply by how you show up on a random Tuesday. And let me say this, if you're already doing the work, if you're already choosing differently, even when it feels lonely, I see you. That's really hard. That matters more than you know. And here's what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with 5 steps to activate the becoming process today. Number 1, define who you needed. Be brutally honest. Who did you need in the hardest season of your life? What did they sound like? How did they carry themselves? What did you wish someone had told you? Number 2, name what's been missing in your current reality. Where are you still repeating the very same patterns that hurt you? Name it. Don't hide from it. Owning it is the very first step to changing it. Number 3, model it one small moment at a time. You don't need a platform. You don't need to go viral. Just model it at the dinner table, in your marriage, in that next text message, and be consistent. Number 4, forgive and release. You don't have to carry the bitterness of who didn't show up for you. They were broken too. You forgiving them doesn't excuse what they did to you, but it does release you, and you deserve that. And number 5, partner with God. Don't try to do this all with your own willpower. God wants to walk with you through this process. Pray, ask for strength, ask for softness, ask for wisdom. He's not just healing you, he's shaping you into someone others can lean on. Legacy begins with your becoming. You don't need a certain title to lead. You don't need the perfect background to build something beautiful. You don't need flawless execution to start shifting the atmosphere around you. What you do need is the courage to keep becoming. And that starts today. You may not have been given what you needed back then, but you can become what others need now. You're becoming the man who leads with love, not fear. Or you're becoming the woman who speaks life, not shame. You're becoming the person your younger self would be extremely proud of. And I want that for you. That matters. So don't stop. Don't shrink. Don't settle. Keep on going. Keep healing. Keep becoming. We need you. The world needs you. And I want to just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for checking out this episode. If this resonated with you, please share it with somebody else who this message could also touch. And please make sure that you comment, like, subscribe so that you don't miss any future content. This has been another episode of the Joshua Bridwell Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next time. Let's grow.